What's the biggest difference this spring as compared to years past with Miles back there instead of Saquon?
Miles is a great back. Obviously losing Saquon is a huge loss. Everyone knows that. And Miles is a great back. I think he's going to have an outstanding year this year. He got a lot of reps last season. And, him being under Saquon the past year, 2 years, he's learned a lot. Being under Saquon, you have a lot to learn from that guy. He knows a lot about the game of football, and just seeing what Saquon does, and obviously he's got big shoes to fill, and I'm confident that Miles can fill those shoes.
What do you think is the biggest aspect of his game that he brings to this offense?
He's fast. He's got that quick twitch, which is awesome, especially in this offense. Doing the read and everything, and I feel like he's going to have a good season this season.
You have 3 new assistant coaches in the offense. Have there been any differences, and what impact have they made, and how much have you interacted with them?
It's 3 new ones. What's 3 new ones?
Jawan, David, and Tyler. Yeah.
They're great. I haven't talked to them a whole lot. I've had a couple conversations here and there, but from what I hear of the receivers and the running backs, and the special teams coach with Phil Galliano, I think we're where we want to be right now, and I feel like I hear a lot of good things about him, and this season's just going to show it. Where to come out, and our mentality is we're to score as most points as possible, and Phil Galliano and Blake Gilligan are going to put us in a great position on special teams and good field position, and I'm looking forward.
So if you know there's 3, then I guess it really hasn't impacted you, huh?
Yeah, I was trying to think, because we've had 13 practices so far, and I just consider them part of. They're not new for me, because I feel like it's been, what I mean.
Yeah.
Heading into 2018, the O-line is seen as a huge strength for this team this season. Coach Franklin, I remember him mentioning last week how he can't really gauge exactly where you guys are in terms of progress because, losing 3 seniors on the defensive line last year. So, how do you gauge? You're in practice right now. Mm-hmm. How do you gauge, where your guys' progress is day in and day out?
This year, this offensive line we have this year, we have a lot of experience coming back. A lot of competition, like I keep repeating that. We have a lot of competition in the O-line, the interior guys, tackles, and we're just making each other better. I feel like from spring ball, the first practice, and from where we are now, I feel like we've come a long way, especially from last season. I feel like Coach Linegrover's doing a really good job of getting on our butts and working better technique, working better finishing wise, and we're all making each other better. We're all setting a fire on each other's butts because the 2's are on the 1's butt, and it's no one's job right now. So he's Coach Linegrover. He keeps saying he's going to find the best 5, and that's what he's going to do, and I trust he will do that.
Ryan, I know the team's younger, but what do you notice about the identity of this team that might be different from the last couple of years, to just the personality, the attitude?
We got some swagger to us, I feel like, compared to years past. We got a lot of swagger this year, but I feel like the swagger we're bringing this year, we have a lot of personality, big personalities on the offense and defense, and, I feel like if you, get to talk to some of those guys, I feel like it'll really show, especially if you know them personally.
Where do you see that on the field? Anytime in practice, there's a swagger? Did you see it today?
I always got that swagger. We always got that swagger.
You mentioned the word trust. How would you describe the level of trust that the players have in one another and with the coaches and vice versa?
I think our chemistry right now is very great, especially on the offensive line. As the O-lineman, we spend a lot of time together outside of football. Just, some of the guys are some of my great friends. Steve, Will, Mike Mennett, Chaz, Connor. We're all hanging with each other outside of football, and that trust, offensive line. I gotta trust what the person next to me is doing. He's gotta trust what I'm doing, et cetera, all down the line of those 5 people. And so I feel like trust is a big thing we have this year, because we all know what we can do, and we all know what we can get better on too. So we all hold each other accountable.
How much is that trust built in the film room and off the field and just on campus and sort of on a day-to-day basis with the teammates?
Oh, it's everything. It's whether we're at football, off footballs, or off days, we're lifting, we're on the field. We're all with each other 24/7, and so we're good friends. And we all, like I said before, we all hold each other accountable. And I feel like from where we started in spring ball and where we're on now, I feel like that progression of chemistry, I feel like just is only going higher.
You mentioned Coach Gerber. What's been his impact with this team the last couple of seasons, and is there a big takeaway that you've taken away from him the last year or so?
Having Coach Gerber in our program is awesome. He's someone I can go to and just talk to. Doesn't have to be about football. Could be about anything really. He's a teacher. That's what I love. You know, he wants to. He does his best job possible of making sure we know what we're doing before we go on the field. He prepares us very well, and you know, I feel like that's one of the things he does best. And you know, he's been around the game for a long time, and you know, I'm still learning things from him that you know I wouldn't think I would.
2 questions.
For this,
Go ahead.
just any examples of something that you've learned from him recently?
Not recently, not so much. I mean, don't get me wrong. He does a great job of, you know, just getting on our butts and, you know, repetition and, you know, competing with each other and just given that mindset to us that what we have to do. And, you know, we each put in different plays and, you know, he just makes sure that we know what we're doing before we go out there, and he does a great job preparing us.
For the spring game, how do you assess on the field, like where, you know, the line is, you know, like just foreshadowing, like all the way to the fall, like where it could potentially be in the fall, where it is in the spring game, like out there on the field and seeing how it could be in the fall?
Well, obviously there's always room for improvement, and I think this offensive line is one of the most experienced offensive lines we've had yet since I've been here in 2015, 2018 now, and you know, I don't know what 5 are going to be on the field yet. Coach Limego's going to find those 5, and you know, we're going to see who starts in the spring game, and you know, move on to summer and then fall camp. And during fall camp, we're going to compete with each other, and you know, we're going to see who the best 5 are, and you know, come Appalachian State, you know, we're going to do what we do best, go put points on the board.